Hey, good morning, Krav Maga martial arts tribe, students, friends, family. Thanks for listening. I got a crazy busy day today, and I came in and I was thinking about doing this podcast, this video, and then I wasn't going to do it because I've got so much to get done before contact time tonight. But then I just got, I had this thing on my mind that I had to share with you. So, so in my typical fashion, I am making the time to share with you today. And I hope that this video resonates well with you and that it was, worth the investment of time for you. Today, I was thinking about what I'm proud of. And I actually got in here and I took my awesome, remarkable, and I wrote down a few things. And I'm proud of my military service. I'm proud that I grew up in the 82nd Airborne Division and that I was a super duper paratrooper and all those things when I was a young man. I'm proud of and grateful for that. I'm proud of my wife. I'm proud of my kids and my grandson and my mother. I'm proud of my black belts. I'm proud of Team KMMA, and I'm proud of every student that's on the way, because there are many future black belts, but there are also several what are going to be amazing instructors coming up in this generation too. I'm proud of the fact that that's what we've been doing now for over 21 years, since October of 2000. Bringing up the next generations of black belt leaders, even before I really had coined that term. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the leadership development that I've had over the years, the leadership growth. I'm proud that I practice what I teach. On a related note, I told one of my classes yesterday, I was on the floor and had an impromptu lesson where I said, in the evolution that was our Krav Maga school days, where that's what I was predominantly teaching, particularly to adults. It was Krav Maga as the self-protection system, as the main thing. And then we had martial arts program for kids. But in that time, my tagline, my slogan was pray for the best and train for the worst. And everybody knew it. And it was an important part of our messaging. And what I meant by that was, of course, that while I pray every day that none of my students get to use the practical self-defense aspects of what we do, that the beauty of us training in the practical fashion that we do, with the practical and realistic self-defense system that we do, is that God forbid somebody does have to defend themselves in a real-world violent situation, they will be well prepared and equipped to do so, which of course is also an important part of developing confidence. But the point of the story that I ended up telling them was, some more about our evolution, because, my love of leadership and continued development in that area over the years did a couple things. One, it brought my Krav Maga program and my martial arts program together. I realized that the kids also needed the practical self-defense that I was teaching the adults. And I realized that the adults also needed the leadership and character development that I was giving the kids. And not to say that adults don't already have a lot of those things. But in that same class last night, when I said, and for instructive purposes, I had the kids turn around and face the adults in the class. This was right before we broke into our small groups. And I said, I want you to look at your parents and the other adults on the floor and see who raises their hand when I ask this question. I said, how many people often need the reminder? I actually did the same thing with the student creed, but at this particular moment, I was saying the reminder of the leadership lessons that we teach and share and develop here at Krav Maga Martial Arts, and every hand went up. Now, that's a testament to two things, right? That's a testament to the quality of the adults in this dojo, right? They're great, and they understand that all of us need to be reminded of the leadership lessons. And it's a testament to the fact of who we are, which I'm going to talk about at the end of this I'm Proud message. We're a leadership development academy that happens to teach the most practical self-defense in the world. So, but I'm proud that I practice what I teach. And what I mean by that is when I'm having a bad day, when I'm going through a hard time, whatever, I go to the same leadership principles that are what we teach here. By the way, that's what the next book's about that I've already started writing. Did an author workshop yesterday. I'm very excited. You guys are going to love the next book, and I'll tell you about it later. But not even later in this podcast. Later. But I will tell you, and I'm also proud of that. So actually, let's make that the next one, so I get back to the message of this particular podcast, because I'm also proud that I'm an author and that I have that content to write. Okay. And when I was saying that I'm proud that I practice what I teach, by the way, I'm proud of the great work Matthew's doing out there in the dojo. So you hear him cleaning up some of the sawdust he just made, because one of our leadership lessons is constant and never-ending improvement, and it applies to our personal life, to our leadership, towards our martial arts, and towards our dojo and facility improvements as well. So I'm sure I'm gonna close the door, make it a little quieter here. All right, hopefully you're hearing that as much as I am. So the being proud that I practice what I teach, what I mean is when I'm having a bad day, I remember that life is 90% what happens. 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. And and that everything happens for a reason and it serves us well. And when something goes wrong in my organization, or there's a mistake on my team, or anything, or just anything goes wrong in my life, I remember extreme ownership. I remember that if it's to be, it's up to me. That there's nobody else responsible for the success or failure of my business, of my of anything. Extreme ownership is another one of our important principles. And by the way, I obviously have a great team of people. Like I said, I'm proud of them that help me make these things happen. But ultimately, the responsibility is mine, right? And that's extreme ownership. And I practice what I teach, and we teach constant and never-ending improvement, which means that I am constantly learning and growing the next new thing, right? And that's good. And then I'm proud. I told you I'm proud that I got my book done last year. I'm proud that we also finished the calendar, right? Like, we have this awesome student calendar that we gave out to every single student. So by the way, if you are hearing this or seeing this video and you're a student and you didn't get one yet, make sure you ask for it, because it's not only that's my grandson, I'm proud of him. It's not only an awesome calendar with awesome quotes and awesome pictures and all kinds of great things on every page, but it's also got every single event. So like, you look at March, which we're almost there, by the way, and that the 4th is leadership open mat, and the 11th is the leadership seminar, and the 12th is the St. Patrick's Day taco bash, and the 18th is parents' night out, and the 19th is the certified instructor training program, and then it's stripe and belt testing the next week, and then it's Krav camp on the 26th, and it's the black belt retreat on the 25th to the 27th, and the black belt test and the black belt extravaganza on the 27th. Man, I'm getting excited just talking about it. It's gonna be a good month. But I'm proud about this calendar, because honestly, I have to admit, this is something that was a vision of mine for years, and we just never got around to actually making it happen. And so we made it happen, and it was a great service to our students. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of this jacket. Another like silly accomplishment, but it's not silly. What I mean is it's not one of the hugest things that we've ever accomplished. But you know what? I love mine. I wear it even though it's not cold, because I love when I'm not in uniform. This jacket is the next best, and all my certified instructors love this jacket. Which, by the way, that's the only way you can get one of these jackets. It's in the leadership blue. You can't buy it. You can only earn it, and you earn it by becoming a certified instructor, by going through the certified instructor training program. And then on the day that you're certified, you not only get your certificate, not only have the opportunity to begin teaching, or maybe even a career in the martial arts if that's what you want, but you get the really, really cool blue leadership jacket. And I'm super proud of this business. I'm proud of, that we have survived 21 years through ups and downs and trials and tribulations, but by applying the very black belt leadership principles that we teach, we have not only survived but thrived. We survived and thrived through this most recent challenge, the pandemic, and by practicing all of the things that we teach, we just continue to get better. And I already told you that I'm proud that I'm a lifelong learner. I might not have used that. I think I used the constant and never-ending improvement language earlier. Another one of our leadership principles, though, is lifelong learner. And lifelong learner, as I alluded to earlier, means that we should constantly be learning new things that elevate us to our next level in whatever areas are important to us at that time. And so, for example, I have been beginning and ending every single day in recent history listening to Dan Kennedy. I'm learning so much from the man. He's a marketing guru, Dan Kennedy, that's been around for many, many years. And I purchased his magnetic marketing program and another program, and that stuff is so good that I just like I'm starting and ending every day. I'm immersing myself because I want to learn the things that he knows. So one that I comment on that as the support of this message, which is that I'm proud that I'm a lifelong learner, that I didn't get to some point where I thought that I had it all figured out and stopped learning. Because as one of my mentors, Grandmaster Jeff Smith, says, you're either green and growing or ripe and rotten. And he says a lot of good old country boy wisdom like that, by the way. But what I wanted to talk about, I wanted to also talk about in this podcast, and it ties to the I'm proud of, something that Dan said this morning, and it was really the part that got my mind swirling that I had to do this video for you. Because Dan said a couple things relevant to this message. One, he said that one of the most important things that we need to do as business owners is present total clarity on who we are and what we do. Like both our customers, which of course in my case are my students, and my students and my team, and they're all my right, and future students, like our prospects. He said, and make sure that there's a very clear message about who you are, what you believe in, and what you are doing. And the second thing he talked about that I thought was very relevant to the message was that he said in all great businesses are evolutions over time. He said, he goes that he was talking in a greater context that's not relevant to today's discussion. But his point was that very, very often what we do and how we do it will evolve over time. In fact, he said that when that's not the case and something stays the same forever, it's probably on its way out. So it got me really, really just thinking about that as pertains to our dojo, to our movement, to our mission, to Krav Maga martial arts. Because I already alluded to the story of how at one point in the evolution of the school, I was still teaching the martial arts system to from my previous experiences to kids, and I was teaching Krav Maga only to adults. And at some point in time, I realized that there was great things that each of those, that the kids needed stuff that I was giving the adults, and the adults needed stuff I was giving the kids, right? And I realized that there was a way to bring those things together, to evolve it into what is now Krav Maga martial arts, my style and system, not just the name of the school, but what we do here, right? Because we are, and this is the next part of the evolution, this evolution has continued since that time to make true this statement of who we are with clarity. We are a leadership development academy that also happens to teach the most practical self-defense in the world. Because like I also said to one of my classes yesterday from the mat, it's still true, the pray for the best and train for the worst. But back then I was only talking about self-defense. You see, the neat thing about our programs at Krav Maga Martial Arts is that in the worst case, where somebody does have to apply the very practical and real world self-defense that we teach in the worst of all possible situations, multiple attackers, stick knife or gun defense, or just any form of violence. They were my black belts because the product here are black belt leaders. And I can say with certainty that by the time somebody becomes a black belt leader here, a second degree black belt, they can defend themselves in any situation and defend themselves well. When you watch one of my black belt classes, and it is impressive. I'm still impressed watching them every time. And then, but here's the other part. God willing, none of my students will ever have to apply those skills because they will not run into a real world violent situation that would warrant it. The great news is that the time invested, however, will have produced what we call the black belt leadership superpowers, another evolution, right? That evolution happened when I wrote the book. What I was really just doing was explaining the character and life traits that we develop in young people and that we remind ourselves, well, not so young people, about. And these are focus and respect and discipline and confidence and gratitude and vision. And does anyone of any age not need those things and to continue to become better in those things and to continue to be reminded about those things? These are attributes of winners. And I can tell you that by the time somebody becomes a second degree black belt leader in my academy, they have mastered those things to the point where they will be able to apply them. You know, if we're talking about the youngins, right? They'll be able to apply them in high school and in college. You know, if we're talking about the youngins as they continue to grow, or if we're talking about ourselves, we will be able to apply them in our businesses, in our careers, in our relationships, in our life. So as a leadership development academy that also happens to teach the most practical self-defense in the world, the beauty is that we're developing the self-defense skills, but we're also developing the mental character and leadership skills that prepare someone for success at anything. And then the third kind of pillar of that evolution that I'm talking about is the leadership lessons. You know, I actually went through an evolution that some current students probably don't know about, where I was at a point in time where the dojo was running pretty good, and I wasn't here every day like I am now, and I had become part of a leadership organization where that's all that we did. Right? It was called Life Leadership, and I worked my way up to a leader position relatively quickly. I was speaking in front of groups of people, which of course I love to do, but it was really because of my love of leadership. I got lots of great leadership training and lots of great experience from the thing. But honestly, here was the neat evolution of that piece of the story. Was I was sitting at one of the big talks now, one of the ones that I didn't get to talk at yet, but the guy that was talking had thousands of people in the audience, and my wife and I were one of them. And he got to this place. He was speaking on his book, and he got to this place, and he said, "You'll know when you're doing what you are meant to do." He said, because you've been called to do it, and as a result, you'll be good at it. Other people will appreciate it, and you won't even feel like you're working. And I looked at my wife, and she looked at me, and we knew what we were thinking. So we were working our way up on this other leadership institution, when in reality, I already had my own here. I had my own tribe and my own dojo that I had already had for many, many years. And I don't even know how many years ago that was in the story. I had to get my wife to actually assign the chronology to things. But the point is, that was an important epiphany and evolution in who we are and what we do, where I said, you know what? I got my own leadership community. I have my own leadership community at my dojo. And it was I came back here full time. I completely left that other thing after that event. I contacted all the people and I said, look, I'm sorry. I want to devote all my time and energy and focus to my leadership development academy that also happens to teach the most practical self-defense in the world. And that's where Krav Maga martial arts was born. And I am proud of that story. And I'm proud of where we're going from here. Because we are affecting hundreds of lives right here in our own community. And that while that continues to be priority one, we're going to grow beyond that, and we're going to empower thousands of lives. Our mission, preparing people to live. What that means is we're preparing them to survive and thrive in any situation, be it the bad one of the self-defense, or be it the good one of just surviving and thriving in the challenges, thrills, and opportunities of life. And the second part of the message is the leadership message, right? It says, and empowered to lead, because it's also part of our mission that every single student that comes through here and becomes a second-degree Black Belt leader is truly a leader and will be a leader in their tribes and communities for the rest of their life. And some of those will stick around here and help me sow into the next generation of Black Belts. Some will do it through college and then beyond to their next calling and evolution in life. It's okay. I am proud of, and I love all of them. I'm proud of, and I love all of you. And I thank you for this time together today. Peace. God bless. I'll see you in the dojo this week. If you're one of my students, we have certified instructor training Friday night and Saturday, which of course are my favorite classes of all to teach. Yeah. And if you're not yet a student, I'd still love to hear from you. And maybe one day you could come in and try some classes. Or maybe you're interested in the book, or maybe you're interested in what I have to talk about leadership in some other way. Maybe you run an organization where I can come do a leadership talk for you. I don't know. I'm just want to let you know that I'm just so, honestly, I'm proud and grateful for what I get to do for a living. And I appreciate you listening today. Make it a great day.